The Macadams rack oven with smart controller and the Macadams standard rack oven is used for baking bulk product in a bakery environment. In this video, we will be showing you the safe work procedures, operation and cleaning of the Macadams range of equipment. As with all bakery equipment, the correct safe work procedures must be followed at all times to minimize potential hazards and workplace injury. Knowing how to correctly inspect, operate, clean and maintain, and protect yourself while operating the rack oven is essential for your safety and the safety of other employees. Ensure you're wearing the correct personal protective equipment. Always make sure that the area around the rack oven is clear of any obstacles or hazards. Inspect the baking oven by checking that the trolleys and baking pans intended for use are clean and in good operating condition, and that the right trolley has been selected, as hook trolleys must be paired with hook ovens and platform trolleys must be paired with platform ovens. Turn the isolator on. Ensure that the emergency switch has been deactivated and that the inside of the oven is clean and is free of foreign objects. To operate the smart controller oven, turn the oven on by activating the push button. If you are operating the standard rack oven, switch the oven on at the on and off switch, which also serves as the toggle switch. Allow 30 to 45 seconds to boot up the smart controller and standard oven. Listen to how the motor sounds and be aware of any unusual burning smells coming from the oven. Make sure that the chamber lights are on so that you can check that the platform is rotating in a clockwise direction and that the rotating mechanism is not producing an unusual sound. The rotating mechanism is found in the floor of the oven, in a platform oven, and in the ceiling of an oven in a hook-type oven. Close the oven door, ensuring you never lean on its handle during operation, as this results in extreme wear and tear. If you identify any potential hazards during your inspection, do not use the rack oven. Report your findings to your supervisor immediately. Working to your recipe, prepare the products intended for baking and place them on the baking trays. Place these baking trays on the trolley ready for mounting in the oven later. The smart controller is an automated processor that makes baking more efficient, as commonly used recipes can be saved into a favorites directory. This lets you quickly activate the baking process without manually programming the temperature, time, and steam settings each time you bake the same product. Other features such as the baking history function let you see which other products the oven has been used for, while you can also choose to manually program your recipe's required settings if you prefer. Use the smart controller to select your recipe, or program it in manually and save it if it is a new recipe. The smart controller also serves as an information hub, displaying the unit's current temperature, target temperature, remaining baking time, and other important indicators. Load the recipe to start the preheat cycle. Use the Honeywell electronic controls to program the baking temperature, time, and steam settings as per your recipe's specifications. When the oven reaches its target temperature, open the oven door using the isolated handle. Always stand behind the door when you open the oven, as built-up heat and steam is expelled by the release of pressure when the door is opened. Even with the door open, the oven will continue to rotate until its platform or hook is in the correct position for loading product. Some platform and hook type ovens are exceptions to this rule, and they will stop immediately when the oven door is opened. If you are using the smart controller, you must press run to turn the platform into the correct position for loading of produce. If you are using the standard baking oven, you must toggle the dial on the front of the oven to manually rotate the hook until it is in position. If you are loading a trolley designed for a platform oven, hold the trolley in the center of its frame. Carefully align the bearing at the middle of the base of the trolley with the rail in the floor of the platform oven and slide it in. If you are loading a trolley designed for a hook oven, hold the trolley 3/4 of the way up its frame and lift it and slot it into the hook located on the ceiling of the oven. Close the oven door once the trolley is mounted. The oven must not be disturbed while products are being baked, as this will affect the quality of the product. Once the timer has elapsed, the oven will let off a pulsing buzz to alert you that the set baking time is complete. Press Done. Open the door, ensuring you stand behind it at all times. If the platform is not in the correct position, press Run on the smart controller to rotate the platform to the correct position. It is important to never remove the trolley from the oven until the trolley is in the correct position. Remove the platform trolley by holding it in the center of its frame and sliding it out of the oven. If you are using a hook trolley, remove it by holding it 3/4 of the way up its frame and giving it a slight lift and tug to disconnect it from the hook. Never step inside the oven as it is extremely hot. Close the oven door immediately after removing the trolley in preparation for the next bake. Repeat the procedure outlined above for each batch of baking required. Once the final batch has been baked, turn the oven off and leave the oven door open so that it can cool. Cleaning the rack oven with the smart controller is the next major step. Doing so daily is important preventative maintenance that ensures the proper operation of this machine. It is important to follow your company's prescribed cleaning schedule. Once the oven has cooled down, clean the outside and the side panels with a moist, clean cloth soaked in warm soapy water, taking care to not allow any moisture to make contact with the smart controller or any of the electronic controls. The glass in the oven door is two-layered. To clean the glass properly, you must loosen the wing nuts on the outside of the oven and remove the glass carefully and place it on a flat, safe surface. Then clean both the inner and outer glass panes. This should be done under supervision. Dry the outside of the oven and the glass panes thoroughly. Carefully reattach the glass, using the wing nuts to secure it. Use a damp cloth soaked in warm, soapy water to clean the inside of the oven, and use a broom to sweep out the floor. Dry the inside of the oven thoroughly, leaving no moisture behind. If you are required to steam the rack oven, ensure you've been trained to do so, that you use the prescribed chemicals, and that you keep a safe distance at all times. When you are sure that the machine has been thoroughly cleaned, sanitize the rack oven and allow to air dry. Now clean and sanitize the work area around the oven. Finally, do an inspection of the rack oven with smart controller, ensuring that it is in good working order. If there's any fault or damage, report it to your supervisor immediately. Always follow the correct safe work procedures to protect yourself and fellow bakery staff and customers at all times.